hard to find right now on the velocity product.
Yeah, this is very good news for this, that just in the last 10 or 15 minutes, what we've been looking at is not nearly as impressive as it had been before. And so this is the conventional display, and we'll put the dual Doppler 5000 on for you and show you that conventional display. And what we're looking at appears to have at least the heaviest rain now, with the what could have been the tornadic part of that thunderstorm, is now to the north of Highway 96 or Zebulon Road, and getting ready to cross over into Franklin County. Actually see the radar sweeping through. As we were looking at the velocity data with this earlier, the signature that we would look at is really has dissipated, and that's would be very good news if that holds out. And I've been looking not only at our radar, but the NextRad radar, which is in southern Wake County, giving us a really good look at this as well. And overall, that's the trends that we're seeing are very good. Now, we were talking about the Weather Service issued an aerial flood advisory earlier, and we've had some reports now of some heavy rain causing some flooding in spots. What you're looking at here is where the radar is estimating how much rain is falling instantaneously, and we're seeing potentially north of Wake Forest some pockets of 3 to 3.5 inches of rain in an hour if it were to rain for a full hour. So that gives you an idea of how hard and fast the rain is coming down in spots. And I want to take a look now at something else that will show us how much rain has fallen of these storms. And we had heard about the potential flooding in Garner, so we'll center the view in the eastern Wake County and give you an idea. In the northern Harnett County, we're seeing spots where maybe we've seen 1.5 inches of rain. Southern Wake County, a number of pockets of 1 inch of rain. And this storm, over the course of an hour, hour and a half, it's been wet all day today, and this is just in the last hour or so, or a couple of hours, where we've been adding another inch of rain on top of what had fallen earlier. So this gives you an indication that we've seen some fairly heavy rain falling in spots, and that's going to cause some flooding, mainly street flooding, but in some places I've heard a couple of folks on letting me know on Twitter, the creek in the backyard, definitely out of the banks. This is in eastern Garner. So you get the idea that in addition to the tornado threat, we also have a flooding threat, something we want to be very clear about and let you know that that's there, and that's just as can be just as dangerous as the tornado threat. So I'm going to look at the intensity display, the more conventional radar display of the dual Doppler 5000, give you a broader perspective at this point. If we are seeing a tornado with this, and that's an if at this point, it is now crossing into southern Franklin County, just along Highway 401. Put a couple of streets on here for you and let you know where this is. And Highway 401 there as it crosses into Franklin County heading toward Lewisburg. This is Highway 98 that moves east out of Wake Forest toward New Hope, Highway 96 or Zebulon Road to the east of Rollsville. So these are the areas where we're concerned potentially that there may be a tornado, but at this point the rotation signatures, Mike, have not looked as impressive. And the Weather Service, looking at their radar data as well, continuing to keep the tornado warning up for the moment, but the radar data not as impressive as it was before. And that's definitely the direction we want to trend here over the next little while. And Mike, do you have another update?
Nothing new from the National Weather Service except for that flash flood and water flowing across Vendora Springs Road near Vendora Springs Volunteer Fire Department. The water's about 1 foot deep, and I understand we got some crews in the area, so hopefully they'll get some video. But the rain shield extends into Franklin County pretty good. Let's go to the other conventional display if we can, and you can see the aerial outline of the tornado warning. The center of circulation, if there is a tornado with this, now over the Bunn area in southeastern Franklin County, but that rain extends over to Franklinton and Youngsville and Lewisburg up to Centerville and Castalia in Nash County, all moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Still, you need to remain in your safe spot until the storm does pass. Now, taking a look at the velocity information, again, as Nate has been doing a great job showing you how the green butts up against the red, we're not seeing that, at least in this display right now. So hopefully that trend will maintain itself, because if that's the case, we might see this tornado warning lowered, and I will continue to watch and see if any new information comes from the National Weather Service. They do have updates, but they're canceling the aerial flood advisory for Harnett County and Johnston County and continuing the flood advisory for Franklin and Wake until 11:15. So that's the newest from us right now. Let's go to Monica with some new information. Monica?
Yeah, of course, Mike, we're hearing from a lot of people about the amount of rain that is just coming down, heavy, heavy rain. If we can take a look at the traffic camera at US 64 bypass and Bethlehem, that is near Knightdale, you can see from the shining lights there just how much rain is on the road. We are hearing of accidents here and there, especially in Garner, and we have reports of Garner, damage in Garner also at the Meadowbrook subdivision. First, though, we want to go now to Bo Minnick, who is in Garner at the White Oak Shopping Center, where we understand there have been reports of damage. Bo, what can you tell us about the situation there?
Monica, as you said, we're here in the White Oak Shopping Plaza here in Garner. We've been here for probably about 10 or 15 minutes right now. Actually, within that time, since we first got here, the rain has actually stopped. It's not raining here at the moment. Off in the distance there behind me is the Target. We actually have I believe, a still photo that a viewer may have sent to us of people that were huddled inside of that Target when the brunt of this storm came overhead here in Garner. I also have been on the phone with Garner's Mayor, Ronnie Williams, and he told me just recently that he heard, as you were hearing, that there are some reports of damage in a couple of communities that are south here of the shopping plaza. So that'll be our next stop once we finish doing our live shot here. We're going to head out that way and check out those communities. Earlier, prior to us heading here to Garner, we actually shot this video, if we can go ahead and take a look at that, of the Mission Valley Shopping Plaza, which is on Western Boulevard, not too far from NC State. At that point, you'll get a look there of how the rain was looking. This was about 9:30 tonight when we shot this video. The rain was certainly pretty heavy at times when we were there. So we're out here, we're checking on the situation here in Garner, and we'll bring you any updates as we get them. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Bo. Appreciate that live report. We will check back with you shortly. Also want to let you know, monitoring Facebook, and I'm seeing some reports here and also on Twitter of Glenwood Avenue flooding, and that road is blocked off. In fact, there is a flood advisory in effect until 11:15 tonight. The tornado warning has just been canceled, so we're glad to hear about that. So for now, we seem good on that front, that the tornado warning is canceled, but that flood advisory in effect until 11:15. We showed you the traffic camera with all the wet roads, but again, Glenwood Avenue, that is always a problem area, and we're getting multiple reports of flooding there and that road being blocked off and